Hey, what's up, everyone? As you probably noticed from the title of this video, I can't even talk today. I also realized my bed's really messy. I'm investigating a music mystery I've had. So I just turned 38. So in 1995, 96, I was 12 and 13. And I remember there being this really, really interesting. Uh, I thought it was an enhanced CD that I had for my computer back in the day, where you could uh, go into the Beastie Boys recording studio called Grand Royal, and you could actually look around, go into another room, and look around. And my brain was thinking, like, back in the day, it was super cool. And my brain was thinking that maybe this was just like, sometimes my brain thinks, and I'm like, The Sopranos was from the 90s, and you remember that it started in 2003. So I was thinking maybe this was old technology, but wasn't in this time frame that was like very old. But when I did some digging, I found interesting information. And normally I'm a music nerd and a computer nerd, and I like to marry those things, and I find out answers, and then I just know them. I don't normally blast them out here, but I decided to open up OBS instead of just doing a quick phone recording, and sort of show you what I found so far. And I'm going to do a little more digging as soon as I have some free time. So the first thing, all I had to run off of is, I knew for a fact it was a tour of Grand Royal. Um, Let me turn down my audio just a little bit so I don't peak here. Check, check. Okay, sorry about that. This is also probably not going to be edited because I'm not really a pro YouTuber. I just wanted to put the information out here. So I remember that this was a Grand Royal tour where you could walk around. I wanted to say there was some bonus features. I don't remember there being a lot of actual Beastie Boys content, and I liked Beastie Boys, but I think the technology at this time was what I thought was really cool. So my first step was to ask the internet, because sometimes someone's just like, I know exactly what that is, and there's your answer. So I asked online if anyone remembered a enhanced CD, or I really thought it was going to be an enhanced CD. So a couple people said that's definitely the Tibetan Freedom Concert CD. So I bought that. It didn't look familiar at all to me, so I was not very hopeful here. It is an enhanced. The third disc on here is an enhanced CD. I'm not sure how much of this is going to come over the video very well, but it's got specs for the the disc, and if you pull out the third disc, which is in a sort of weird hidden slot, it does say that it's an enhanced CD, and it's got some producers' names and the enhanced CD logo on it. Um, so I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem like it could have that in there, because this is more just about an event, and I can't see that having a tour of a studio. I flipped in the disc quickly. I looked on the back, and it talks about Rage Against the Machine and Beck and some stuff, but nothing that I was really thinking. I didn't spend much time on this, and I'll give this more of a look over, because it does seem to be an interesting artifact, but it was not the answer. The other thing is, I remembered owning Enhanced CD by Soundgarden, so I went on eBay and I bought this for $7 off of Goodwill. Uh, it didn't have an image to it, so I wasn't sure I'd get the right thing, but the right thing did come in. This is Enhanced CD. It's got like I think it's in my drive right now, so I don't have the disc in hand, but I remember it had this Corel extra disc. And I haven't spent much time on this, but I pulled out some of the files. As you can imagine, a CD from 95 made to work with Windows 95 is not going to be very easily playable on a modern Windows 10 machine. So I bought that. I'm going to mess with that some more later. I pulled some of the movie files out and didn't get a whole lot. So I asked in another spot, and let me show you what I found there. I described my conundrum, and someone named BNE linked me to this Vimeo page. I have it loaded right here, and it looked very, very interesting to me. It didn't look 100% of what I was expecting to see. Clearly, this is a Mac machine. In the article, the person describes himself as the person who created this content, and I'm just playing without audio. I don't think I plugged up my OBS to have audio play through, and I don't want to play this guy's entire video, but this piece looked almost exactly like what I was thinking. It has clickable pieces on a cool like 360 degrees thing. I thought I remembered it being more clear and seamless, but I mean 95, 96 was just so long ago. I don't remember watching this video. I'm not going to play too much of it. There's this clear like subway path that the whole menu goes on, and that didn't seem at all familiar to me. So I felt like this looked like pieces of what I was looking for, and this piece of content was called "Don't Mosh in the Ramen Shop," which apparently was a limited edition, I guess either DVD or, I guess since this is so old, it would have been a CD-ROM that was given out to apparently only a couple like fans of the band. So that's interesting. I don't think the comments here led me to the real answer, but I somehow maybe this is where I went. I found some other forum that actually got me to the piece of media I was looking for. This has to be the forum. I'm just gonna Control F. So this really gave me a little bit of a better path here. Something called a Blender CD-ROM. And so this was a 2-year sort of music and media magazine, from what I can tell. Again, I clearly asked my parents to buy this because I was 12. And none of these looked too familiar until I got to the one that is actually the one that I must have had, and I don't see it right now. But the 1.41 they were referencing is exactly the one I was looking for. I'm surprised my parents bought it. It had a sort of, I guess, less clothed Janet Jackson on the front of it. And so this piece of information sort of got me closer. And again, this is obscure stuff because if you click on this, you see it's just a quick 5-second video. It's unlisted. And here's another clip. And again, this is on YouTube and it's unlisted. I don't want Well, I guess it's linked on the pretty much on the internet here, but that got me closer. Seeing Beastie Boys in VR felt like I was getting closer. The Don't Mosh in the ramen shop didn't seem very exactly what I was looking for. Um, so now I found something to sort of focus on. Website called archive.org. I don't know what led me here. I just think I was looking for uh, the Blender disk, but if you put in Blender 1.4, come on, internet. I know you're faster than this. Maybe it's not faster than this. Uh, okay, finally. So I came across this, which is an ISO file, so I really feel like I'm getting closer. Someone uploaded it 6 years ago. I guess something this old maybe goes to public domain at some point, or since the magazine was so short-lived that they don't care to put a copyright claim on here. But I downloaded the ISO to get a little closer to what I was thinking, and I can actually mount the disc. Sorry, I didn't leave things up the way I should have. I mounted the disc on Windows 10, and I can look through the files. As you would expect, the Blender won't run, even if you put it in uh, compatibility mode. Obviously, Windows 8 won't work. I can't remember. There's a way to roll back to a specific. Let's see. I can go as far back as XP Service Pack 3. Test the program, should launch it. Doesn't do anything. I can say to save those things and it's fixed, but it's going to give the same error. So the goodies, I'll tell you more later, but those are just the software installs, which obviously QuickTime from 95 won't run. Oops, wrong file. Doesn't run. Let's go to the files, and there's a number of files, including stuff that says like Beasties. I don't know that I looked in every single one of these files. I could probably open it with Notepad, and it's going to be weird stuff. Where is Notepad 2? It's just some junk hex stuff. And there's movie files all in here. That looked like it was a video game preview of some sort. There's some ones that are just like quick in between files, like that was just a trapdoor sound. But there is one called Beast VR, which got me to where I needed to go. And I already loaded up this one file. I don't use QuickTime very often, but I have it on my machine. And the only thing that will load up is this movie file. These other ones are audio files of different Beastie Boys members talking about their offices. The weird thing is the only office that seems to load is it's sort of like an outdoor corridor that I assume you come in on the front street, and these are locked. Well, I guess the front door would be locked if there's lockers here, but this must be either the back or the front entrance to Grand Royal. Again, this to me, I know this seems a little boring. It's not the highest res of a picture, but this is pretty cool for it being 1995. Really interesting content. It if you're younger and you don't know what 95 was like, we had computer screens that were this big and then this long, and it was a pain to load up Windows at all. Like, it just took forever. And I know I just happened to grab this before I did the video. I know this kind of content is new, like, is great and cheaper now. Like, I got an Oculus for not that much money for compared to what they used to be, and you slip that on your head and you can look up YouTube videos that anyone's created with a 360 camera or biocular recording, and can see things in a really cool way. But this made me feel good that I'm down the track of this weird little piece of memory about music and technology that I had. Sorry, I just keep spinning it around. It's not that super exciting. I don't think there are any other files that open other than, I mean, all these files are just, I assume, regular movie files. I didn't try opening them in this program. Let me pick a larger sized one. Let's see what this load. Oh, I guess I'm just.
Hello, this is Morphine. If you are going to view.
Looks like it's just a set from the band Morphine. I think I remember the bass player plays with one string on his bass, so that'd be interesting to see. But that's just large because it's a long video. I think I don't know why there aren't more VR pieces of content in here other than this, but let's move past this. So this got me pieces of this, but I really wanted to view the video, so I downloaded Windows 95 off. You can actually, I did a Google search because I didn't know where to get a Windows 95 ISO, but apparently you can just get it off Internet Archives. There are a couple versions. I don't know where to tell you to get it. That's not strange or sketchy. Maybe this one. I don't remember which one I picked, but it had. I don't think it was this one because people were complaining that they didn't have the uh, key file for it. But the one I downloaded came with a key. Uh, so I don't have examples of this, but the one thing I found with installing Windows 95 and VMware is that modern CPUs are too fast compared to 486s that existed in 95. So Windows automatically thinks that there's a Windows problem, like you hack something or whatever, so it throws an error. I found a YouTube video, and let me find the name of the file. There's a fixed 95 CPU.ima file you have to load up as a floppy disk, and it'll let you run a modern CPU. You can then load VMware tools, and it gives you better mouse support, but it didn't really seem to fix the display driver problem I found, and it runs a little kludgy. But here's my last, as far as I got into this as I did to show you, and it's a little glitchy, but I think this is really cool that this is old content. The big thing I found is this is not called Mosh in the Ramen Shop. It's called Belly of the Beasts. I found a guy's name that was associated with doing the VR stuff, but let me click through a little bit and show you this. I don't think the audio is coming through correctly for me, and as you can tell, the video itself is hacky. Can I full screen this? So this is how it would look on a Windows 95 machine other than at the top, and with for some reason, again, it only loaded 16-bit color on here. I can't figure out how to get 256 color display to come up. The other thing is I installed the QuickTime, but I cannot drag around here. This looks like that's that same door that we saw in the one thing. So the help says that you can click and drag around each room, and that's what I remember, and I'm not sure why that isn't the case here. Click when the arrow turns to a cursor to move that direction. How do I get out of this menu? So I don't really see some of that stuff to do. Oh, here's that name, Steve Micros. So he did this content. I can't remember if that's the same name as the Mosh thing. So this image is the same image from what we saw earlier, I believe. Oh, I crashed it. Well, unfortunately, this is sort of a long process to relaunch it. You can dig into the files on Windows 95, but I mean, these are all audio files, and then this lets you do the same thing we were doing earlier, but in a less nice way. I can show you what the Blender CD launching looks like, if I can get back to anything. It's sort of a slow process on here. And I want to also note, like, I'm just a computer nerd. I don't necessarily do a lot of messing around with vintage stuff. This is just where my mind had taken me. I'd been curious about this bit of memory, so I'm sure I'm doing something silly and wrong here that I could easily fix, and maybe that's why I could make a secondary video. Maybe this content isn't that cool compared to modern standards, but I felt very good that I looked up. It was a strange path to get here, and I was sort of expecting it to be a little bit longer to find some stuff out. But this really takes a long time to load. And this is how I got to the Beastie Boy menu. Is it's hard to move your mouse around, but in the middle, if you hit map, it really gives you all the pieces of content in here. And just because it's the only thing I'm talking about in this particular one, and these animations are terribly slow. I gave it, I think, 16 megs of RAM, which I know that sounds silly. 16 megs of RAM, 4 processor cores, and that's running off my modern machine. So that's, I think, 3.8 megahertz. So that should be a very fast processor. So this is where you see the belly of the beasts show up. And then there's the Steve Micros name again. There's a videographer. There's text. I can't see my mouse to click on the go ahead arrow. I think everything catches up once it goes all the way down and you see the Beastie Boys. We'll get there in a second. And then I don't think I have much more content to show you after this. Wonder what that text is supposed to show me. And this is me. If you're also a nerd and curious about this, obviously I showed you the pieces to get to where I am. I'm using VMware Workstation, I think 15, whatever semi-modern version of VMware. It may be worthwhile to load in VirtualBox, or even if there's a Mac OS version. So we were playing the QuicktimeVR. Get Me Out of Here probably just exits the studio. Well, tell me about it. I think I clicked on this earlier, but y'all weren't here to see it. So it looks like we're doing a 360 pan of the studio room. And I have no idea if there's supposed to be music overlaid on this. I can hear the Windows 95 beeps and stuff, but I haven't seemed to have much audio come through over the VM. Again, if this is something you've been curious about or researched, or this is some interesting content that you want to know about, then here, let me move my face over. There, you hopefully read what you want to read there. I might be able to click around on here. I look like I can click there. Let me try. That doesn't do much, so let's. So maybe the only VR, and it makes sense. Maybe these were all still shots, and the 360 video is only that sort of ugly waiting entrance room. Because I'm seeing pieces of the map come through clear. Okay, so I'm not controlling this. I guess some of these rooms they've done a 360 animation sort of sweep around. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can control the screen until it finishes up. I'm going to keep going. It looks like there's 10 different areas that it's going to show you. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I'll leave it up for a second. Or you can pause it and read this. See what is the next screen might take forever to load. I guess I should be spending more time looking at this myself because, I mean, this is my nostalgia. This was probably an obscure. Let me pull open Janet Jackson Blender 4. So I think this was the issue. No, that says 2004. Huh. Well, I'll leave some of the mystery out there. Maybe you'll investigate this yourself and put some notes in there. I remember that cover specifically, but then the 2004 throws me. And if you do load this up in a VM, I highly suggest you load the tools on here, because it looks like my mouse control is ridiculous, but it's actually loading way better than the jumpy mouse. Um, this feels familiar. We might have come full circle here. So I can't tell which of the 1 through 10 we're on. Check out whole joint again and fabulous QuicktimeVR Blender exclusive. Ain't technology a bitch? Is that what this does? What in the world is that doing? Doesn't feel like I can pan around in here. Let's see if this just puts me back in this room with the VR. Let's see what happens if I get out of here. Kung Fu Kick. That seems... I remember that. Got a little outro video. Cut it. And I guess that is the memory I have there. So I may do some more personal work to get the 256 color display to show up here, so this doesn't look like trash. The animation is still looking like it's going to be sort of bad in a VM, but if you, again, I'm not much of a YouTube content creator. I run a record label. I'm an IT guy during the day. My days get filled up pretty well. So this is just something out of nostalgia for fun. But if you do like this content, if you want to give me some hints of how to play this correctly, if you want more content like this, like I do have the Soundgarden enhanced CD, which I'm gonna have to bounce through Windows 95 to play. I do have the Tibetan Freedom concert to look through, and I did order physicals of these Blender discs because there's 6 of them, so I really could go through content on each one of them. If this is some nostalgic, interesting, music related, technology related, found old, I mean, clearly it's easily available if it's on archive.org, but I assume that the standard person isn't going to take that much time to run a VM and pull out stuff in here. And I really only focused on one thing. If any of these things interest you and you want more of this, please comment. Feel free to reach out to me directly. I run To Live a Lie Records, and maybe we'll have some more of these. All right. Well, I'm going to hit the stop recording button. I'm not editing any of this, so I apologize about the time some of these things took, but quick and easy. Hope you enjoyed this, and Will Butler signing off.